Most people are not disliked. They are simply unnoticed, not because they lack value, but because they never reveal the part of themselves that inspires trust. I have met countless men and women who told me people overlook me, or no one really sees who I am. And as I watched them in daily life, I discovered something remarkable. It was not the world that was blind. It was that they never showed the world what truly mattered to them. You may know this feeling. You work hard, you try to be kind, you avoid trouble. Yet at the office you blend into the wallpaper. You attend meetings, you nod, you agree or quietly disagree inside, but you rarely speak with clear intention. Others are chosen for projects, leadership, responsibility. You are nice, reliable, but not the person people turn to first. It is not because you are less capable. It is because they have never heard you say anything that reveals what you stand for. The same thing happens in social life. You go to a gathering, you smile, you listen, you make small talk. People might describe you as polite, calm, perhaps a bit quiet or hard to read. They do not dislike you. They simply do not feel that they know you. They have never heard you state, even in simple terms, what you care about, what you expect, what you believe is important. Without that clarity, you remain a pleasant shadow. In families, this pattern is especially painful. Perhaps you feel your opinion is often ignored when decisions are made. Your spouse, your parents, or your grown children discuss plans, and somehow your voice gets lost. It may not be because they disrespect you. Often, it is because you speak so softly and vaguely that no one is sure where you truly stand. You hint, you suggest, you say it doesn't matter, when in fact it does. Over time, they stop looking to you for direction, not because you have nothing to say, but because you rarely say it plainly. The common thread in all these situations is not a lack of intelligence, kindness, or effort. It is a lack of clarity. When people cannot tell what matters to you, they cannot place you in their mind. You become nice, but undefined. And what is undefined is easy to overlook. Many people, out of fear of conflict or fear of being judged, speak defensively, vaguely, or passively. They hide behind phrases like, whatever you think, it's fine, or I don't know, when deep inside they do know. They have values, preferences, and convictions, but they bury them under a blanket of politeness. The result is that others cannot truly see who they are. Here is the simple human truth. People cannot see who you are until you let them see what you stand for. Respect does not begin when you raise your voice. It begins when you reveal, calmly and honestly, what matters to you. People listen differently to a person who is clear. They may not always agree, but they cannot ignore you in the same way. In my work with people, I found that there is a small shift in language that can make a very large difference in how others perceive you. One sentence, spoken sincerely, can change you in their eyes from vague to clear, from passive to trustworthy, from nice to someone they take seriously. It does not require aggression. It does not require you to become loud or forceful. It simply requires that you speak your intention plainly. In this talk, I will show you that one sentence. You can use it at work, with friends, and at home. When you say it, people will begin to see you differently, because they will finally see the part of you that has been hidden, the part that knows what matters and is willing gently but firmly to say it. Over and over, I have watched the same pattern. People are not judged only by their talent, their education, or their good intentions. People form their judgment of you largely by the clarity of your intention. They may not analyze it consciously, but they sense it. Does this person know what they are trying to say? Do they know what they want? Do they stand for something real? We often imagine that if we simply work hard and mean well, others will automatically understand us. But human nature does not work that way. Very few people will take the time to dig through your silence and your vague answers to discover your true values. They react to what you reveal. And what you reveal is often hidden inside the way you speak or the way you avoid speaking. There is a simple law at work here. People respect those who communicate directly and honestly, without pressure and without manipulation. We feel at ease with a person who can say clearly what matters to them and at the same time allows us the right to our own view. On the other hand, we grow uneasy around those who hint, dodge, or disguise their intentions. We begin to suspect them not because they are bad, but because they are unclear. To help my students change the way they are perceived, I began teaching them one simple sentence: let me be clear about what matters to me. It is a short line, but it does several important things all at once. First, it shows confidence without domination. You are not saying, let me tell you how it must be, or listen, because I am right. You are saying, here's where I stand. That is firm, but not aggressive. People are much more willing to listen to someone who owns their perspective without forcing it on others. Second, it shows sincerity, not calculation. When you say, let me be clear about what matters to me, you open a window into your inner world. You are not hiding behind vague phrases. You are willing to be known. People crave that kind of honesty. They may not always agree with your values, but they will usually respect the courage it takes to express them plainly. Third, this sentence opens the door to trust. When others know what truly matters to you, they can predict your behavior. A boss who knows that what matters to you is doing honest work and treating customers fairly can trust you with responsibility. A friend who knows that what matters to you is loyalty and honesty can trust you with their secrets. A partner who knows that what matters to you is mutual respect can trust you with their heart. Fourth, people quietly long for leaders who are clear. A leader is not only the person with the highest title. A leader is anyone others look to for direction. And no one can follow you if they do not know what you are moving toward. When you can say, let me be clear about what matters to me, and then name it, you step into a kind of leadership at work, at home, and in your friendships. Let me show you how this works in small, practical ways. Imagine you are speaking with your boss about your role. Many employees leave these conversations vague. They say, whatever you need, or I'm fine with anything, and then wonder why they are placed anywhere but where they want to be. Instead, you might say, let me be clear about what matters to me in my work. I want to grow in responsibility and contribute to projects where I can solve problems, not just follow routines. You are not demanding, you are defining. Now your boss sees you as someone with direction, not just someone filling a chair. Now consider a friendship. Perhaps you have a friend who often cancels plans at the last minute, and you feel hurt, but you say nothing. Resentment grows in silence. One day you decide to speak more clearly. You say, let me be clear about what matters to me as a friend. Honesty and reliability. I understand that plans can change, but it's important to me that we respect each other's time. You have not attacked their character. You have simply revealed your value. Your friend may apologize, adjust, or even drift away, but in any case, you will be seen more truly. In a relationship, this sentence can prevent many arguments. Instead of saying, you never understand me, you might say, let me be clear about what matters to me in our relationship, that we speak to each other respectfully, even when we disagree. This gives your partner something solid to grasp. They no longer have to guess what is wrong. They know what you are asking for. Clarity reduces confusion, and where there is less confusion, there is less unnecessary conflict. Notice that in all these examples, you are not trying to control anyone. You are not guaranteeing that they will do what you want. What you are doing is giving them a fair chance to know. You are saying, this is the principle I live by in this situation. Whether they choose to honor it is their responsibility. Whether you state it clearly is yours. Let me be clear about what matters to me is more than a phrase. It is a posture. It says to the world, I am willing to stand somewhere. I am willing to be known. I will not hide my values out of fear, nor will I use them as a weapon. I will offer them plainly so that you can see me as I am. When you begin to speak this way, people will indeed see you differently. They will no longer see only a quiet worker, a vague friend, or a passive family member. They will see a person with an inner compass, and human beings, whether they realize it or not, have always respected those who have a compass and the courage to reveal it. Let me show you how this works in the real world, where habits are strong and feelings get in the way. You will see that a few simple words can quietly change how people see you. Scene 1, at work, from invisible to intentional. There was a young man in one of my classes, quiet, diligent, always on time. His work was good, his attitude polite. Yet he felt constantly overlooked. Mr. Carnegie, he said, I do everything they ask, but they never choose me for the important projects. They say I'm a good worker, but they don't see me as someone who can lead. I watched him during a group exercise. Whenever his team discussed a project, he hung back. He waited for others to speak first. When he did speak, he used phrases like, I don't know, maybe, or whatever you prefer is fine. He thought he was being easygoing. In truth, he was hiding his intentions. His colleagues could not tell what he cared about, so they did not see him as a natural choice for responsibility. I asked him to try something different in the next meeting at work. The team was discussing who should take ownership of a new client project. He felt nervous, but he remembered our lesson. When there was a pause, he took a breath and he said, "Let me be clear about what matters to me. Delivering this project well. I'm willing to take responsibility for it, and I'll do my best to keep the client informed and the team supported." The room grew quiet for a moment. Then his manager turned toward him and said, "All right, let's have you lead it then." What changed? Not his intelligence, not his years of experience. What changed was that, for the first time, he had shown his intention clearly. His colleagues saw a man who knew what he wanted and was willing to say it. In their minds, he moved from reliable worker to potential leader. Psychologically, something important happened in that moment. People feel safer following someone who is transparent about what matters to them. When you say, "Let me be clear about what matters to me," you remove guesswork. Others no longer have to interpret your silence or read your mind. They think, "I know where he stands. I know what she is trying to do." That clarity becomes the foundation of trust. Scene 2, with a friend. From hard to read to genuinely close. Now let us leave the office and step into a quieter place, a coffee shop. A woman once told me, "My friends say I'm distant. They tell me I'm hard to read, but I care deeply. I just don't know how to show it without feeling awkward." When disagreements arose, she would withdraw. If a friend hurt her feelings, she smiled and said, "It's fine," when it was not. Over time, small resentments built up on both sides. Her friends felt they could never quite tell what she was thinking. She felt unseen and misunderstood. I suggested she practice one small sentence. The next time something truly mattered to her in a conversation, instead of withdrawing, she would say, "Let me be clear about what matters to me. Honesty between us." And then she would explain simply what she was feeling. Soon after, an opportunity arrived. A close friend had canceled on her several times in a row. She felt unimportant, but was about to say, "Don't worry about it. It's nothing," as she always did. Instead, she remembered our work. She took a steadying breath and said, "Let me be clear about what matters to me as your friend. Honesty between us. When plans are canceled at the last minute, I feel like I don't matter very much. I'd rather you tell me honestly when you can't or don't want to meet, instead of saying yes and then canceling." Her friend's eyes softened. "I had no idea you felt that way," she replied. "I'm sorry. I've been careless because I assumed it didn't bother you. Thank you for telling me." In that moment, the friend did not pull away. She moved closer. Why? Because clarity, expressed kindly, creates safety. When you name what matters to you, you are not attacking the other person. You are giving them a map. They no longer have to walk through your relationship blindfolded. Emotionally, this is powerful. Most people are not afraid of your truth. They are afraid of your unspoken anger, your cold distance, your unexplained silence. When you say, "Let me be clear about what matters to me, honesty between us," you remove that fear. You say, in effect, "Here is the rule by which my heart operates." That is an invitation to deeper friendship, not a threat. Scene 3, in the family, from confusion to connection. Finally, let us step into a home. A husband and wife came to me, frustrated. "We keep misunderstanding each other," they said. "Small things become big arguments. We both feel unheard." As I listened, I noticed that each of them assumed they knew what the other wanted, but neither had clearly stated their own priorities. They spoke in complaints and criticisms, not in clear values. "You never listen," one would say. "You always overreact," said the other. Both felt wrongly judged. Neither felt understood. I asked them each separately, "What truly matters to you in this relationship?" Their answers were not complicated. One said, "What matters to me is that we understand each other, even when we disagree." The other said, "What matters to me is that we speak respectfully, especially when we're upset." These were not impossible demands. They were guiding lights. The problem was that they had never said them plainly. So, We practiced. The next time a disagreement surfaced about money, if I recall, they felt the old pattern rising, raised voices and sharp words. Instead, one of them stopped and said, "Let me be clear about what matters to me, that we understand each other. I don't want to win this argument. I want us to see the same picture." The other replied, "Let me be clear about what matters to me, that we talk respectfully even when we're stressed. I don't want us to hurt each other with our words." The argument did not magically disappear, but it changed shape. The room grew a little quieter. The volume dropped. Both of them were reminded in that instant of what they were truly fighting for. Not the last word, but mutual understanding. From there, it was much easier to discuss the actual issue. Psychologically, this is what clarity does in a family. It brings people back to shared values. Let me be clear about what matters to me. That we understand each other tells your loved one, I am not your enemy. I am trying to build a bridge. When those words are sincere and followed by listening, they turn a tug of war into a joint effort. In each of these scenes, the office, the cafe, the living room, the same principle is at work. People soften around clarity. They listen more carefully when they hear you speak from value, not from accusation. They feel safer when they know what matters to you, because then they can decide how to relate to you with open eyes. A vague person may avoid conflict for a while, but they also avoid being truly known. A clear person risks a little more in the moment, but gains something far more valuable, the chance to be respected for who they really are. And often, all it takes to begin that change is a quiet, steady sentence. Let me be clear about what matters to me. Now that you know the sentence, the question becomes, how should you say it? The same words can invite trust or create resistance, depending on the spirit behind them. When you speak, let your tone be calm, friendly, and steady. This is not a hammer to win an argument. It is a light to help others see you. If you say, let me be clear about what matters to me, with a sharp, impatient voice, people will hear a warning. If you say it with a quiet, sincere voice, they will hear an invitation. Your body can help you. Before you speak, notice your posture. Lift your chest slightly, not in pride, but in presence. Uncross your arm. Let your hands rest in an open, relaxed position. A closed body suggests a closed mind. An open body tells people, I am not here to attack you. I am here to share something important. Let your face be calm, with perhaps a slight, natural smile, not a grin, but a softness. Your eyes should show sincerity. Look at the person when you say it, but do not stare them down. A warm, steady look says, I mean this, and I respect you enough to say it plainly. You can also adapt the sentence to different 5 situations so that it feels natural. In professional settings where tasks and goals are in focus, you might say, let me be clear about what matters to me in this project, that we meet the deadline without sacrificing quality. Or let me be clear about what matters to me in this role, that I keep learning and take on more responsibility. In social settings where friendships are built, you might say, let me be clear about what matters to me as a friend, that we can be honest with each other, even about difficult things. When you need to set a boundary, you can say, let me be clear about what matters to me in this situation, that we treat each other with respect. And in a leadership context, whether you are leading a team, a family, or a small group, you might say, let me be clear about what matters to us, that we do the right thing, even when it is the harder path. Each variation does the same work. It turns a foggy moment into a clear one. It tells people, here is the principle by which I am moving. There are a few simple do's and don'ts I would ask you to remember. Do use this sentence as a window into your genuine values. It should reveal something real about you, your commitment to honesty, fairness, excellence, or mutual respect. If you use it merely to sound impressive, people will sense the emptiness behind the word. Don't use it to dominate. If you say, let me be clear about what matters to me, and then deliver a threat or an ultimatum, you turn a good tool into a weapon. The goal is not to crush disagreement, but to clarify your position so that honest discussion can follow. Do keep your voice level and your pace measured. Rushing through the sentence or spitting it out in anger will undo its effect. Let there be a small pause after you say it, so the listener feels the weight of what you are about to reveal. Don't use it as a trick to get your way. You are not saying, let me be clear about what matters to me, so that others must surrender. You are saying it so that they can see you accurately and respond in good faith. To make this a natural part of who you are, I suggest a simple daily practice. Choose one small moment each day to use the sentence. It does not have to be a dramatic situation. Perhaps a coworker asks you which task you'd prefer. Instead of saying, "I don't mind," you might say, "Let me be clear about what matters to me today." Finishing the report well. "I'll take that, if that's all right." Perhaps your friend suggests something you don't enjoy. Instead of going along and resenting it, you might say, "Let me be clear about what matters to me this weekend. Having some quiet time. I'd rather meet for a short walk than a late-night outing." At the end of the day, take a moment to write down two things. Where did I use the sentence today, and where could I have used it but did not? This reflection trains your awareness. You will begin to notice how many times you hide your true intentions behind vague words and how differently people respond when you choose clarity instead. As you practice, you will find that this way of speaking feels less and less forced. It becomes simply how you talk. Open, honest, and grounded in what matters most to you. And when you speak that way, people do not only hear your words, they feel your character. Let us stand back for a moment and look at what you have learned. Respect does not begin with force. It does not begin with a raised voice, a hard face, or a stubborn will. Respect begins with clarity. People cannot follow you, trust you, or truly value you if they do not know what you stand for. The sentence we have practiced together, "Let me be clear about what matters to me," is a small doorway to that clarity. When you speak these words sincerely, you are doing three things at once. First, you reveal your character. You show that you are willing to be known, that you are not hiding behind vague phrases or polite fog. Second, you invite cooperation instead of conflict. You give others something solid to work with. Third, you allow people to see the real you, not the silent shadow, not the agreeable mask, but the person with a mind, a heart, and guiding values. You are not invisible. You are someone worth listening to once you speak with clear intention. Many men and women move through life believing that they are destined to be overlooked. In truth, they are often only one sentence away from being seen. The world cannot respond to what you never express. When you begin to say, "Let me be clear about what matters to me," you step out from the background and into your rightful place as a person with a voice. If you want a new identity, let it sound like this: "I am someone others respect because I speak clearly and live by what matters to me." You do not have to shout. You do not have to argue. You simply have to be willing to name your values kindly and firmly. To help you anchor this in your daily life, I invite you to repeat a few simple affirmations. Say them quietly to yourself in the morning, before an important conversation, or whenever you feel yourself shrinking back into old habits. I speak clearly and sincerely. People see me differently when I express what matters to me. Clarity brings respect. These are not empty slogans. They are reminders of the truth you already know now, that hiding your intentions does not protect you. It hides your value. Clarity may feel risky at first, but it is the only path to being truly respected for who you are. Before this video ends, I want you to make a small decision. Choose one conversation today at work, with a friend, or at home, where you will use the sentence. When the moment comes, take a breath, soften your voice, open your posture, and say, "Let me be clear about what matters to me." Then finish the sentence honestly. Watch how the other person reacts. Notice how you feel afterward. That is the beginning of a new way of being. If you ever feel yourself slipping back into old patterns of vagueness or silence, come back and listen again. These ideas grow stronger each time you hear them, and even stronger each time you practice them. Now, I would like to know a little about you. Where in the world are you watching from? How old are you? And in what area of your life do you most want to be more respected at work, in your relationships with friends, or in your family? Share it in the comments below. Your story matters, and your words may encourage someone who feels just as you do. And if you want to continue learning how to speak, act, and connect with people in ways that make them respect you, listen to you, and appreciate you more deeply, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Your journey in human relations is just beginning, and the world is waiting to see who you truly are.